Motarg, our friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for another Orc Mode workout, and today was max effort bench press day. So a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated, so reach down there and do that. Today, I decided to go ahead and do a normal bench press. I mean, this would be wide for me, but really it's normal. My pinkies are on the rings, and I wanted to just get a baseline because I know I need to get stronger with the wider grip. I went up to 315, and it actually felt good, but my chest was so lit up, I was almost worried about trying to go up. And a lot of people are like, well, that moved really fast. You could have gone up. I probably could have gone up 10, 20 pounds. But coming back after rehabbing the shoulder and everything, I want to make sure I'm good here. I'm going to work with some rep work with the sort of wider grips. This is the grip I'm using for all of my incline and overhead pressing. Because again, it's a general good, safe bench grip, because I mean pinkies are on the ring, so I'm relatively close, and I need to get strong at all this, and I can tell as I do this what my weak links are. It's completely chest. Okay, my triceps are not even close to being a weak link. When I did this ramp up, and even when I did the back off work with the 275, I felt my chest. And I felt the chest the same way I feel it on the incline bench. So realistically, my triceps have gotten really strong. I mean, I can do J-arm presses with 175. Okay, you guys have seen me right before I got hurt, close grip 352. All right, I don't have a tricep weakness anymore. I didn't even feel my triceps on this. I felt my chest though. Felt my chest. So we need to bring the whole chest up, and I was right on that. I knew I was going to need to do that. That's why we need to hit all these different angles. Because again, good pause, drove it up, nice clean lockout. Look at that. It locked easy. Like, I felt like just getting it started, the first few inches is where it felt a little bit heavy. I felt my chest, especially on the eccentric. As I was lowering it to my chest, I definitely felt my chest going, okay, this is hard for my chest. Triceps just blasted right through at the top. So we need to build all that up, and we're going to hit all the different angles. And there's going to be a method to my madness with the overlap on these lifts. And a lot of people are like, hey, why are you not doing chain stuff or anything? No, I'll do chains. I'll do my specialty bars. I want to work with some of these on basic versions of these lifts again. Then we'll work through the different variations. We're going to do rep work and all the back off triples and stuff. Well, it's not really back off work. It's my hypertrophy work. And some people need to understand when we start talking about all that, these are effective reps. What you have to remember when we're talking about effective reps or training volume, only the people who are trying to push really high volume training actually think the reps outside of the final few count as your volume. Okay, your volume, and again, look at people like Chris Beardsley, phenomenal researcher in hypertrophy. People like that who will talk to you about a lot of the effective reps. So even look at what guys like Lyle McDonald say about it. By the way, for those curious, that was a small incline PR. I had someone say, hey, you know, why is your incline there? That's only 10 pounds heavier than your overhead press. I rehabbed my shoulder. I can assure you I can't strict press 225. I think 200 would be tough right now. I think 200 would be hard. So I've got to build it all up. But if you look at what they talk about with these reps, the only ones that count are the ones within 5 reps of failure. So in other words, if you take your 20 rep max and you do three sets of 15 with it, you probably won't grow at all. Technically, that's no volume. It's just warm-up volume. It's junk volume. You won't actually grow from that. That's what the data would suggest. You won't actually gain any muscle from doing that at all. That has less stimulation than just taking a 5 rep max and doing 5 reps with it. It's way less. These are all effective reps. So in other words, even if you did a 20 rep set to failure, you get 5 effective reps. So if I do 3 by 3 on each exercise with a percentage that we know is inside the effective rep range, that's 9 effective reps. That's basically the equivalent of taking 2 sets to failure. But I'm doing, look at how many different exercises, and keeping in mind the training maxes and true maxes, those are effective reps too. As soon as they reach 85% or higher of the max, so the last 2 to 3 singles are going to be effective reps. Okay. This is what counts as your volume. So people need to understand that volume is not how many total reps you did. And it's not tonnage, because that doesn't work either. Okay. It's how many quality reps you did. And the other thing that I'm noticing as I'm doing this, I am getting the tension side, and that does matter for maximizing strength, and it does matter for neural adaptations, and I need everything. But it also, I have to focus and stay tight. That's one of the other things too I'm noticing with this. To make every rep count, everything has to be super tight. Everything has to be intentional. Every rep has to count. It's forcing me to stay tighter, get tighter. It's one reason I'm using wrist wraps for everything. Noticing this is how I avoid aches and pains. You know, people will say, oh, you're doing too much heavy lifting, you're going to get hurt. No, not really. Everything is kept tight. Everything is intentional. Okay. But I've noticed because I get everything tight, I can really, really feel all the weak links. And in this case, this is all chest. It's my chest. But we're also getting an overlap. Everything's going to overlap. So I'm doing 4 different types of chest presses outside of the maxes. We're doing dips. We did flat bench again. We do incline bench and do the seated overhead press. Okay. All those are done for 3x3 with full effective reps, 85% or a hair above. Okay. Dips, hit my triceps hard. That's the other thing too. My triceps are now strong enough. I don't think I need a little small direct tricep work. What I need is a wide variety of pressing. And these different presses will hit the different heads of the tricep, and then we get overlap. Okay. I felt a ton of lateral head on these. Lower chest, actually my whole chest. I felt my whole chest, and I know my chest is lagging for the bench. Okay, I've got to bring my chest up. We'll do that with flat bench variations. I may mess with some of my buffalo bar. I may mess with that McDonald bar. Okay, dips will help. And if I cut anything out, it would probably be dips. But I feel like I could use the extra low chest. I could use, you know, a little bit of tricep, and it hits stuff in a way that lets my delts rest because I'm doing a lot of delt work too. But you guys notice I dropped these down. I went down to 90 today because I felt like the 100 pounds I was losing rep quality. That was probably 90% of my max, not 85. These were really challenging. Every single rep was hard. Every rep was deliberate. So all 3x3, these were challenging reps. And I felt everything contract super hard in my chest and my tricep, particularly the low chest, middle chest, lateral head of the tricep. So again, we're hitting all the upper threshold fibers there. So we got all the muscles of the flat bench. Then we're getting the muscles of the dip. Okay. Also, my waistline will probably drop down a little bit over the next week. The reason I'm easing into my full vertical diet now, my diet has been really, really, really bloaty. And it's because of the food volumes I eat and all the brown rice and broccoli and stuff. So I feel like that's going to definitely help. Officially started my vertical diet today other than the coffee, and I'll discuss that later. I'm not going to try to wean myself off coffee till the next deload. See how that goes. See if my sleep improves. Incline bench though, because we hit a small PR, we increased the weight. Did 200 pounds. Of course, these felt good. I felt my whole upper chest and everything light up again. And my middle chest. Basically, the incline bench feels like the same muscles I feel that are the weak links on the bench. I feel the same things on the incline, actually. They feel identical in terms of that. So what does that tell us? Well, we know my incline bench is a weak link. And I feel it in the same area as I feel a heavy bench. So bring the incline bench up, bench goes up. But everything feeds into everything else. Hey, all these lifts feed into each other. And that's the thing people will notice, because I don't have a large exercise selection. It's reasonable. And we're doing moderate volume, but trying to optimize it. Every exercise has transfer. I'm selecting movements to feed into the others so that I can do enough variation to avoid overuse. Right? Because we're doing everything heavy. You don't want to just come in and do, 8 sets of the same type of bench press. Okay? I wouldn't recommend you do that. That's why I'm cutting everything off at 3 sets. If we need more total work, we can do a different exercise, but we want every exercise to feed into everything else. There needs to be a synergy. The incline bench will increase the flat bench. Okay, the flat bench can feed the incline. It feeds the dips. The dips help with the bench. The dips also work a different part of the tricep than what I feel on the other movements. The overhead pressing will feed the incline bench. Overhead pressing also works the long head of my tricep. I feel it tremendously hard when I do these. Just like I feel the lateral head on the dips, I get an intense cramp in the long head on these. And I feel only upper chest on this. Delt, everything else. Trap. Okay. Think about the chin-ups. This feeds into the chins, the weighted chins. And I'm also doing them at the same angle. The angle I'm doing my weighted chins because of that other shoulder issue, I'm underneath like this. I'm at a similar angle to the seated press. Okay. It works all the exact stabilizers for this movement, but it also, the overhead press works the long head of the tricep, works the upper chest. We know it does. I feel that long head of my tricep on it. Okay, these feed into each other. Plus the extra bicep and lat work. I know I need more lats for my deadlift. It doesn't matter that people say, hey, your lats are massive. Well, my lats aren't 700 deadlift massive. Okay. My lower body is caught up. We've seen my hamstring and glute strength and low back strength demonstrated with other lifts. They are more than adequate to get my deadlift up another 40, 50 pounds easily. I don't have the upper body strength and the back strength, mid-back, all that. I don't have that strong enough to get there. So we need the chins, we need the rows. But the chins and this feed each other back and forth. Same thing, I'm going to do Pendlay rows today. I do my strict curls. Those will feed the chin up. So every exercise that I do has carryover to another exercise. Okay, that's important for hypertrophy. It's important for movement. We are being well-rounded by picking a wide enough variation of movements that each thing feeds into each other and every muscle group gets hit from multiple angles. Even though it's all big, heavy movements, we're still thinking in that way like a bodybuilder would. Okay. And you'll notice the first rep of these is always hard. It's because I'm coming off pins, and then I get a stretch reflex. And it doesn't matter that I'm coming to the pin and stopping. It's the fact that we get an eccentric rep that makes it easier. Okay. Having an eccentric rep lets you store energy that you can use on the next rep. So actually the second rep is the easiest rep. And then the third one's challenging. Right? And then we did our weighted chins. I went with shoulder width today. These felt a lot better. Now people are like, why did you pull the snatch grip high pulls? I'm noticing that shoulder's getting a little crackly again, and it's not like bad. But I do notice I think the snatch grip high pulls are not necessarily helping it. And I don't need the extra shoulder. I can do a bunch of face pulls, and I need to be doing more face pulls for my shoulder anyways. And I've got to do them careful now with just light bands, being deliberate, not trying to go heavy, just get a pump. It's one of the few movements I do that's really high rep. Okay, kind of like the, whatchamacallits, reverse hypers. So between all the overhead work and I think the face pulls, my shoulders will be fine. My delts will blow up. Plus we're getting all this rear delt work with the chins and more specifically the rows. But a lot of face pulls, a ton of them. One of the few things I'll do that's going to be high rep. Okay. But I noticed that the shoulder width feels even better on my shoulder. So that's a good thing. So these weren't that bad today. I probably need to bump the weight. I could almost max on these. I probably will max on the chin and the row soon. But I feel like I can gauge these based on how they feel to know that I'm at least 85% of a max. So we'll stay there, try to hit at least 85% for triples. Row's definitely there with that. With 245, yep. I did a 3x3. Again, nice strict Pendlay row. Not as strict as you're going to get with triples. But, yeah, pretty dang strict. Again, we need the lat development. We need the back development. And I need to be able to hit the lats from a couple different angles. Now, my lats get hit on the deadlift. So that might come up to you. People might say, well, why all the extra shoulder? Why the bicep? Why not more lat work here? But I deadlift twice a week. Deadlifts will build your lats. And that's not as controversial of a statement as it sounds like. Been demonstrated in the real world. We have EMG studies. Lats get hit hard with a deadlift. So that's our other angles. So we're getting chins, we're getting rows. Okay, and since these are strict rows, we're bent over more. Getting some pretty divergent angles there, and then we get the deadlift work. Okay, so that's plenty. We're good there. We're good to go. Then I did my strict curls. I only did 3 sets of these today. Why? Because I went up 5 pounds. I did 5 sets last time with 5 pounds less. I went up 5 pounds, and I've already done chins and rows. We've already done 6 sets. Okay. Just need to make sure my biceps are growing. I feel like I get a bicep pump on my loaded carries though too, to be honest. I do my farmer's walks. So that's kind of another thing that puts a good, just a stretch and isometric on them. We could argue about the deadlift on that, but I don't seem to get the same thing that I feel on those. So this hits our different angles. We get the supine grip from the chins, we get a pronated grip from the rowing, and then we come in and do a nice good strict curl. And these are pretty dang strict because I'm doing it in the meet legal strict curl fashion. And same thing, yes, I'm belted up, yes, I'm using wrist straps because everything needs to be tight. I'm focused on squeezing everything as hard as I possibly can. Everything is staying super tight. We're doing heavyweight with low reps. There's no place for looseness. I need everything tight, and I need to squeeze the hell out of the bar on every exercise I do. And they're allowed in comp, by the way. But yep, 90 pounds for 3x5. So again, finishing off, making sure we get the bicep work. Why the biceps? Well, number one, we know that it contributes to a wide grip bench. Not a controversial statement. There's literature on it. We know it will improve my chin up. And if my chin up improves, my lats grow. My grip improves. My lats grow, my bench gets more support, my deadlift goes up. So again, pretty straightforward day, even though I left a little bit in the tank on the maxes. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.